So, welcome, Lucia. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because I have been seeing your content online, just talking about what it means to be a wife. And really, I think some people could perceive your content as contrarian, trying to, really get a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think those are great conversation starters because it's either you're going to get people that fully agree with what you're saying. And then some people are going to be like, oh, I'm so offended by this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like also this hasn't always been your mindset. So
Yeah.
you and I have been working together for like over 3 years now. And even in the beginning of the 3 years, I feel like you were a lot more career driven. And now I feel like you definitely are still ambitious, but I feel like there's a lot more focus on being a wife. And I know you're going to be a mom as well. So would love to know what that transition was like.
Yeah. I think that now that you bring it up like that, believe it or not, when I chose to be a wife first, everything else grew. My business, my career, anything personal that I have going on with family, with friends, with my church, everything just blew up. Because I think that choosing that it ripples this positive effect and it's for the greatest good. You know, if there are women out there that just want to be career focused, that's a good thing. Rather be doing that than, something else, selling drugs or your body online, you know what I mean? That's to be celebrated. But I do think that when women get to the point where they're like, I'm a woman, I can create life. I am this magical creature floating on planet Earth. I can bring peace, love, harmony. Like that is the highest calling. And I know that a lot of people don't agree with it. They're like, oh, your highest calling is just to be a mom or a wife. Like, yeah. Because when I step into that, I've just become more confident. I just, again, it's for the greatest good. It has the maximal ripple of effect on everything, on every area of my life, rather than just being career driven, which it helps people, gives people business, jobs, my community. But that's it. Like, what does it do for me and my husband or my future kids or spiritually or even for the plants and the planet? You know what I mean? It's very limited.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you say that because I also used to be really career driven. I would say probably most in my 20s, I was so career driven. This is where I was almost cold. I was like shut off. I was so focused with like so much of my masculine that I wasn't really open to anything else. And I didn't even think I was going to have kids. Like it was never even on. I had this massive list of things that I wanted to achieve and kids was not even on there.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that about you.
Yes. I was like, why? I never liked kids. Okay. Ever.
I can't believe this.
I know.
You're
because
like the best mom.
And kids gravitate towards me. And I love kids. Like I have to hold them and I love them so much. And that's why I love what you're saying. Because I'm like, girl, you're feeling that energy already and you haven't had kids yet. So once that portal opens up for you, you're going to be unstoppable. Because it's like, honestly,
it's like it
took me having kids to tap into that power of like, and recognize how powerful my body is and that it's actually a portable. And if people are like, it's not that deep, it's that deep. It's actually that deep. And if you don't get that, you're missing out on this whole other layer of who you are. I'd actually argue that you're missing out on who you actually are.
Yes, 100%.
So while there's the career aspect of it, like that's great. But I have never met a woman who feels unfulfilled from being a mother. She's stressed. She can be unhappy sometimes. She's probably very stressed actually. But I see a lot of corporate women, I coach a lot of them who feel unfulfilled because they don't have a family, whether it's having a husband or kids. Because I think you can have a family with, and I don't want to say just your husband, but your husband. Your husband can be that family unit. It doesn't necessarily need to have kids. But what I do find is women who have focused on their career, and I'm talking doctors, lawyers, surgeons that I've coached that are wake up and like, I've focused my whole life on my career and I want something more.
Yeah.
And so it's this challenge that I think women have. It's like, well, how much time and energy do I put into my career? And then how much time and energy do I put into finding the partner? Because, there's this whole thing of you don't want to rely on a man. So you need to have your own money and you need to have your own career. And it's this constant tug that men don't experience. Men don't necessarily have to
They're
choose,
not, yeah.
but women do. And you're either put in this like box, and it's often women doing the judging. It's like you're this corporate woman, you don't even have a husband and you don't have kids, or you're just a wife.
Yeah. I love that you're touching on that. So I think with my content, obviously what I say and the things that I post, they're not going to apply to every single woman on planet Earth. I think they will apply mostly to American women because, I've had people in the comments like, you have no idea what's going on in somewhere in the Middle East. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. I have no idea. And the fact that you think that I can do something about that, that's very flattering. Like, I don't take it personal. Thank you. But I'm not there yet. Right now, I do want to do something about my country and the where America is at with women and family unit and children and husbands and marriage, right? If I start here, then maybe I can make a worldwide ripple effect, but I'm not trying to go and change religions and cultures and stuff like that. That's like insane to think that way. You know what I mean? But if I can make this place a better place, I'm going to go for it. I have my shot at it. So when you see like content that might not apply to someone in that time, because if a 20-year-old sees my content that is very career driven, she's going to be like, off, like, you don't know, like, I can't trust the man, and that's fine. Or there would be a 20-year-old that is like, yeah, you know what? I agree with this. So it's not for everyone where they're at in their journey. I'm very aware of that. But if culturally we were to say, if you have a husband that you feel like you still have to have a job because you don't want to be dependent on them, then that's a deeper issue culturally. It's like, why not? Like, I can trust my husband with my eyes closed, I tell you today. If my husband were to start acting differently tomorrow, I can also change my mind and say, I cannot trust my husband tomorrow. And I think women have this thing where they feel ashamed or they feel like they can't go all in on their marriage because what if he cheats? What if this happens? Well, if it happens, it happens, and you pivot, and you just, okay, well, he did this, then we move forward. I like to live off the future rather than the past.
Yeah. And I think that speaks to someone's personal development though, because if you met your husband at 18 and he's all you've known and you've relied on him all of your life, if he hurts you, where do you go? And that's why, as much as I'm very much for, and I know this word is triggering, but submitting to your husband, because I have a very traditional relationship with my husband. I respect him very much. I think he's the most amazing man. So to me, submitting to someone that I love and respect and I trust, of course, right? But I think the tricky part is where people feel like if they haven't known anyone else and this man hurts them, they're actually lost they don't have an identity outside of their marriage, which is why I think it's so important for women. And again, this is another topic that's up for debate because people are like, go to university. I advocate going for university only for the networks and to have something for yourself, like the knowledge that you acquire in whatever training might not be university, it could be courses or something else that you invest on yourself. Nobody can take that away from you. That's something that my mom taught me. She's like, Marcia, whatever you do, this is when I was really young. She's like, whatever you do, you go to university, you go get your education because what's in here, nobody can take from you, no matter what happens. And so that allowed me to build confidence that when a relationship did go south, because my first relationship did go south, that I was able to, as hard as it was, to walk away from a very financially secure situation and start from scratch. How many women, though, are trapped in this dynamic where they can't walk away because they don't have an identity outside of their marriage? They don't know how to create money for themselves. They don't even know where to begin, which is why I'm also a big advocate of women knowing how to make money outside of the home while still being in the home. So it's like it's this challenge that I think is very unique to women, where we want to be a supportive wife, and we want to be an amazing mother, Yet we don't want to say that that's the only identity that we have. It's our most important role, but we are also creative outside of that.
Yes. There's a word that I recently learned a lot about. And I think it could very well solve this womanhood crisis identity that we're having as women. Because it's like, okay, well, if I submit to my husband, there is this sense of something bad might happen. A lot of women have this. I mean, I feel like I've healed from that. Like I no longer fear my past is going to come show up as my husband. Like my husband is not my ex-boyfriend's, you know what I mean? But some women still have that. And I get it. So the word is competent. You're talking about going to school, getting an education, or doing courses, reading books, doing things like that. That yes, gives you confidence, knowledge, and all this stuff. But overall, I think the word is being a competent human being. If you are competent, no matter what, no matter who, you're going to figure it out. So life is hard. We live on planet Earth. There's a lot of things, a lot of temptations for both men and women. Men are being attacked with porn. I think that is the biggest problem that men and marriages have on the cheating. And they don't go cheat to just have dinner with a girl. They go cheat to go to that extent to do something new. And let's just be honest and blunt. That's what's happening, right? So how do we, the women, one, don't participate in porn, and two, do something about it so our kids are not watching it? So, we can have the conversations with your husband. These are topics that people don't want to talk about. It's uncomfortable, but that's what I talk about on my social media. Why not get rid of those things? There's problems that are hidden. You see the problem being divorces, cheating, scandals, but you don't see what came before that. It's all those little temptations that it's put out there culturally and again, I'm talking mostly in America, and whatever happens in America then just goes worldwide, right? But if you're competent, you're going to know what to do, what to say, when. Being competent gives you confidence.
Yeah.
So if you're a competent woman, like I've heard someone say, it was so bad for me to be married to this man because he did everything for me. And then when he left me, I didn't even know how to pay a light bill. That's a victim mentality. And she could be very right in her own universe. I'm going to make her right. I said, okay, well, I get it. Wow, it sucks for you that you had, a husband that gave you everything. You didn't know how to pay your own light bill, but he cheated on you. So, okay. But there's always two sides of the story and many different viewpoints. So if I go, okay, well, you're an incompetent person. Because if you just sat there and said, well, I don't know how to pay a light bill, poor me, and it's his fault for taking care of me, and he cheated on me. It's like, you can Google how to pay a light bill. You can ask somebody that pays their light bill. Hey, how do you pay the light bill? Take note. That's being a competent person. And it's giving you that simple example to even something of a massive scale, how to start a coaching business. Did you know how to do that? You had to be competent. All the things that you learned, you had to apply, you had to put together, and you did it all by yourself. Then you had a team, then you had people support you, your husband supports you. But at the beginning, you're competent. And I think that word will really prevent women from going into victim mentality. We are not victim to the patriarchy, to the government, or to men. Like that is I'll rather be the villain than the victim, which I know I'm not really a villain, but I might come off like that to some people. Like, oh, how does she talk like that? I'd rather be that than being the victim and just sitting there and not doing anything about it.
So that's interesting. Like I agree with the competence would be a part of it. But then I look at women who are high paying, like they've gone to whether they're lawyers or they're doctors. So they're clearly competent, yet they're still stuck in a relationship that is either verbally or physically abusive. So there's the competence piece, and then there's a self-worth piece, and there's a knowingness, and self-worth comes from self-awareness. So this is where when I see people in relationships they get married like super young, or they're like 18 and they're like, I found the one. It's like your brain hasn't even developed yet. You have like 7 more years of that development to even before your brain, the prefrontal cortex is fully developed. So we're not even who we are until we're like 25. I changed so much after I was 30, right? So it's like part of it is knowing who you are outside of a relationship. And this is so important for us to pass down to future generations, because we're not, again, we could go into a role of, I am going to be a wife and like, but that's a role. Who are you beyond that? Like, who are you at your core? And finding your identity outside of that, because then I can, if I want to be a wife, I can just be like, okay, I'm going to grow up and be a wife, and I'm going to trust that I have an amazing, no, but like you're somebody outside of that as well. Like what drives you? What are building your character? Because when you build your character, you're going to be a match for someone who has that, also the opposite masculine character. If I look back at my relationships, all of those were a match. I could say they were toxic. I could say they were bad. They were not nice people, but they were a match. They were a match to me. Exactly. Yeah. They were a match to me. So never a victim. So I love that, because it's like we are always creating our lives. So I think the advice that I would have for women, I don't know what your thoughts are, I would love to hear your thoughts on this too, is before trying to find the one, like find you. Like know who you are first. And there's so much of our world, we're programmed to look outside of ourselves and to look at, let me learn what that person likes so they will accept me when I don't even know who I am. I don't even know who I am. So that's why a lot of the work that I do with women now in their 30s, 40s, and 50s is like finding who I am now outside of that marriage, finding who I am now my kids are grown up. Who am I? Like what actually lights me up now? And I think when you pair that, the knowing, the self-worth, the competence, then you feel confident to face any challenge that life will bring you.
Yeah, it's all about facing life. To me, life is a game, and not like a light game. Like, oh, let's have fun. It's a game. In a game, you have opponents. You have a team. You can't get anywhere without a team. In my household, my husband is my teammate. We are a team. We are moving towards the same goal. We both want to score that goal. Not over there, because then we're not a team anymore. So I look at life as a game. So yes, I think people need to get to know, like women, get to know yourself first, do the work on you first, and then you'll find that match, like you were saying. So I 100% agree with that. And being competent is not just like with work. When I say that, I mean like in life, like it's having, because if somebody's thriving in corporate America or being a doctor or a lawyer, but they're going home and they have a bad relationship, they're not they're not a competent person. When you look at a competent person, it's not that they have their life perfect, but they are not the effect of life. They are creating life themselves rather than life bullying them. You know what I mean? Have you seen these people that are literally getting bullied by life? I used to be one of those. I'm like, oh my God, this happened. And then that happened. And it's like, it takes more energy to be bullied by life than you creating life. I'll tell you that. Like, it was exhausting. I was tired all the time. I was feeling like just down. You're at a low vibration. It's just things are not working out. And it's more exhausting to be there than to be playing games. Let's go. What are we going to do? What's next? Oh, I'm going to do this. If that didn't go right, okay, let's make it go right. Like that, honestly, for me, it takes less energy.
Oh, 100%. And you're already, like you said, you're already vibrating higher. And that's the thing, like life is going to be hard regardless. It's still going to require the same level of effort. Either you can decide to be happy and excited about it and ready for whatever is going to come your way. Because we haven't had easy lives by any stretch. It's like, are you going to decide to see things in the way of how is this working out for me? Even if it feels like this is not working out for me right now, just having that perspective, it actually requires the same amount of effort, like you said.
Yeah. And I love that you work with women that are very successful in their career, and they're now kind of like, okay, but I didn't do the husband, the kids yet, and they're interested. I think that's God's work. So thank you so much for doing that. It's so important to help women get back to the roots. And I know some are gonna kick and scream about this, but kind of, circling back to where we started, it's the superpower. It's innate to us. Like, we have a very unique anatomy and body structure, and we have to lean into that. Like, our intuition is incredible. Men could never. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but they're good at other things, at working every single day with the same emotion, with the same, you know what I mean? We're not. We have these ups and downs, and we use that as our advantage. And it's so simple. Like, why do women get attacked so much? Why do we get suppressed? Why do we get told we need to be more like men? Because whoever the enemy is knows that when women step into their power and they truly start to harvest all these superpowers that we have, we wouldn't have sick kids. We wouldn't have people having accidents. We wouldn't have horrible things happen on this planet if we had women truly in their femininity and truly using their powers. The enemy knows that. So that's why I do what I do with my content. And I found who I really am. I found my calling, my purpose in becoming a wife, because it was an identity thing of like, I love my last name. I was like, I don't want to let go of my last name.
I remember having that conversation with you. Yeah.
It was like, but I love my name. And I always get so many compliments on my name. But I was like, but I am a wife now. Okay, that's part of me. And I don't know, it just pushed me and helped me to see what's going to be the greatest good, Lucia, being this badass boss babe that feeds my ego in a way. And it's great. That I love it. I'm not shy about it. You know that. But I was like, what is the greatest good? What do I truly want to do on this planet as Lucia now in this lifetime? And when I saw it and I felt the fire in me, I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And if I can, do a little bit, then I'm going to do a little bit. If I can do a lot, I'm going to do a lot. So I don't know exactly who the enemy is, but I know it's out there. And it's not the people leaving mean comments in my comments. It's not them. They are the result of that group, very few group of people that are working and trying to suppress women, don't have children, kill your babies.
I think the lie is, I think the biggest prevalent lie is that female empowerment is about the individual. But there's nothing about our femininity that is individualistic. We are collective by nature. Yeah. It is in our DNA to want to reproduce, to want to take care of, which is why we can go into the wounded feminine too much and be over caretakers. We're overly mothering and we can do it too much, right? There's a spectrum of it.
Yeah, nothing in the extreme is good. If you go to extremes, that's insanity.
Exactly. However, my whole thesis is that a woman is most powerful. A woman can be powerful on her own, but she's actually most powerful in the presence of a healthy masculine because it is exactly like you speak about, like the anatomy. It's everything. We are created to support each other. The woman loves the man loves the woman. We are designed in that way, and we become a force. This is why when couples get together and create something, a business together, it has a different frequency than someone doing it individually. And so I think that's the lie. The lie is, don't listen to men, do it on your own, show how independent you are. Like that hyper independence is lethal. A trauma response. Yeah. Right? The real flex is, can we have a healthy interdependence? I do lean on you, you do lean on me. We trust each other. That's a healthy relationship. And I think that's what we're both trying to get to with our clients and our audience.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's not easy work. And that's why it requires a higher level of being, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. So it's work. I posted one video, and it went crazy when I said I wouldn't love my husband if he gets fat. That's a whole nother conversation. But people are like, oh, so if he loses a leg, you're not going to love him anymore. I'm like, losing a leg is an accident. Being fat is a choice. So people get very offended. Fine, I get it. But it's the constant work. I'm not going to let my husband get fat. He's not going to let me get fat and unhealthy.
I agree. It's because our relationships, we don't love our husbands unconditionally. That's actually the opposite of, I love my children unconditionally. I don't love my husband unconditionally. There are conditions to my love, as in you will be respectful of me. You will also honor me as I honor you. To say we have unconditional love. This is exactly why we get sloppy in marriage. This is why, because men know she's going to stay. Her words don't mean nothing. I posted something where I'm getting so much heat on as well, where I say men don't hear your words. They feel your distance. As in, if he does something like to the left. And they're like, this is toxic. Like, you need to communicate with your man. And I'm like, you're like missing the point entirely, right? It's like, of course you communicate those initial boundaries. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep reiterating to you what I need you to hear because you're not hearing me. Right?
You've already communicated. I get it. You've already communicated and it's not changing. So now I'm going to take my distance.
Yeah.
And they get it. I love that viewpoint because it's like people might be like, oh, you unconditional love.
No, because you know what women do? If you do this again, I'm leaving. Do they leave? No, they don't. That's why don't ever threaten your relationship unless you're for real. I have never threatened my relationship.
Me neither. We don't have the word divorce in our marriage. Like, we're very committed and we work on it every single day. And I think that's what I want to show too with my social media. It's all butterfly and rainbows and oh my gosh. No, it's work. A marriage is work. So, and that's why we need more good marriages, strong marriages, because those marriages create a good community, a strong community. They create the children that are confident, that are good, and they're the future. And then the communities create better countries and cities and so on.
It all starts with a nuclear family.
It all starts with the family. So why are we attacking it? So it's very simple. It's common sense. And I love having conversations with you.
Thank you so much.
And I am so happy we found each other. You all the way in Perth, Australia, and me in Miami. But we need to do this again.
I love this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.